Good morning, good afternoon, depends on when you're listening to this. I am Sue Pickering from Soulworks by Sue Pickering. I am an intuitive, a psychic, a soul coach, and we have Tara here with us again for our morning musings. She is from TSW Life Coaching. She is amazing. She digs deep into discovering what your soul is trying to tell you and all those good things that come with that. And we are here today to talk about New Year's. The new year, January 1st. Is it really January 1st? There is so much, I will say, controversy out there, whether that is the first or the beginning of the new year. Everyone is entitled to how they feel. We're not here to convince otherwise. We are here just to allow people to feel how they feel and know what they know, what their truth is. But we are going to talk about it today. Welcome, Tara.
Welcome. I'm excited. We had a couple weeks off there. Yeah, I'm excited about this topic because I'm really feeling very strongly within me that it does not resonate with me anymore. And I think I'm not alone. I'm seeing more and more and I'm feeling more and more. And I'm just like, got a little bit more insight this year on it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's why it's not aligning. So
Yeah.
it's, it yeah, it's really interesting. So I don't know how much you want me to go into or
Oh,
talk
sure.
about it.
Yeah, yeah. Like for me, the New Year's when Aries, the sign of Aries is in the spring. I know that there is a Chinese New Year, and I believe that is February. Is it the 17th? Let me look here. I wrote it
Yes.
down actually this morning. Um, February 17th is the
Yeah.
Chinese New Year when the fire drag or I was gonna say dragon fire horse comes in. So yeah, there's different times for different people. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Both the Chinese, from my understanding, and the astrological New Year all fall within that. I'm gonna call it pagan for I don't know what a lack of a better word. Fall in with, but natural. Fall in with more of the natural cycles of nature. And lots of times, I know we've had this conversation before, but when I really dive into myself or like I'm doing work, or I'm really struggling with like shadow and stuff like that, I always go, well, what does nature do? What is, like back to that? I know you giggle at me, but I say like a terra tree. If I was a terra tree, what would a tree do right now? And and that's why I really felt like I'm not feeling it this year at all. And I haven't really felt it strongly for like I haven't set resolutions, I haven't done all of that. And it just started coming more and more to me. Um, what I was getting is the solstice is a lot of people, that's kind of the new year. Um, and but even beyond that, even if you don't look at dates, it's if you look at nature, nature is right now in the north, anyhow, really at a state. And I mean, in the south, it counts too because they'd be in the middle of summer. But naturally, we are not at a bursting, new energy time. Like a tree, what happens to a tree, and this happens here all the time, is when we get a chinook for a long time or really warm and trees start to bud early, and then we get cold, they die. Those new buds die. And so when we look at that and we look at nature, when we are forcing ourselves to bud because we flip the calendar a page, then we are really setting ourselves up for failure. We are setting ourselves up to not to bud and then die. Those buds die. And so you wonder why so many people struggle with their New Year's resolution. And I mean, having working, my hobby job is at a gym. January 1st, our memberships go up like crazy. And all the older members go, well, I'm not coming for January because it's busy. But by the time February comes, they're all gone again. And it's like, yep, well, that's because they've set themselves up for failure. And so I'll stop talking. I can talk more, but I'll let you jump in there. But there's a very strong, and I'm not conspiracy theory-ish, but the calendar was set by man, not by nature. And so we are going by against our biology, against our natural being to set ourselves up for failure, which I was like, well, doesn't that keep us in the loop of not enough, failure, shame, guilt, all of that crap? I didn't swear. Almost did. Um, but I'm like, isn't that another way of keeping us in those cycles of I'm not good enough because oh look, I made a New Year's resolution and I can't even do that. And so anyway, go ahead
Yeah.
while I drink.
No, no, you took, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say about the resolution and your goals. Definitely, because you think about nature, right? The spring is when we plant our seeds. The spring is when we plant what we want to grow. So if
Yeah.
we are trying to plant those in January when we need to be resting to discover what we need to grow or what we want to grow, then it is. It does take away and create non-success, right? It
Absolutely.
is, yeah, it's if you think about nature and how it works, I believe that the new year is in the spring,
Yeah.
Aries season when it starts, the solstice, all of that. And I have noticed I've felt this for a while now, for a few years anyway, for sure. It's been getting stronger and stronger, but it's funny, a couple of years ago people were starting to talk about it. Do you believe in it? Do you believe in the change of the calendar? And now it is so prominent that many people won't even wish people a happy new year because it's not in their makeup, you yourself, right? And it's not the time for it, right? So I predict in the spring people are going to start really posting and wishing people a happy new year. It's that shift away from the man societal things into back to nature, back to, there's no right or wrong. I'm not saying that you have to believe in that. This is free will.
Mhm.
But we're just having a conversation here. So yeah.
Well, and I think, like I even just thought when you were talking there, I thought, okay, what about a bear? A bear's nature, so we take away from the tree. They're in deep hibernation right now. What happens if a bear wakes up? They die, period. And I'm not saying you're going to die if you believe in New Year's, but those are our natural cycles. We are a part of nature. And the more we force ourselves to, because we flipped a page on a calendar, the more we force ourselves to not be, especially with how the energies are so supporting us to become aligned to who we are, the more we force ourselves into the man made, the more we are going out of alignment. And the more we are going to feel that disconnect. And I did this year. I felt like before I just went, oh, well, I don't really feel it, but I'll say Happy New Year. And this year I really felt like I couldn't. And I'm not judging anyone, I'm not telling anyone what to do, like you said. But I found myself, I didn't want to say those words because that reprograms that conditioning in within me. And so I found myself saying Happy January 1st because I just couldn't even say it because I'm like, I'm not going to feed that machine anymore. And whether it's, and I got some pushback from it and I got some, oh, well, and eye rolls and stuff like that. But I just couldn't do it. I'm like, I am not going to feed that machine anymore. I'm not going to feed those lies just to be the good girl. So I said, and it wasn't from a judgment place, and I didn't go into, I mean, we're having the conversation now because we opened it up, but I didn't go into that. Everyone text or called and like Happy New Year, and I said Happy January or Happy January 1st, because that's fine. If that's where you are and that's what you believe, great. I don't. So, and I'm not going to play that game, and I'm not going to cast those spells, and I'm not going to keep doing things that are out of resonance with me, that are out of alignment with me, because it so brings that conditioning back in. And I like I said, I see it so clearly now, how it's setting us up for more of that guilt and shame, which is the machine, which keeps us in that low energy, keeps us low frequency, keeps us low vibration, because of course it gives us something to beat ourselves up about and go back into that scarcity mindset of, well, see, I'm not even good enough. I couldn't keep my New Year's resolution. Because it's not New Year's. Because your body's telling you it is not time for you to do this. Your body is telling you you should be like the trees, which are in deep hibernation like bears. And they are in a very much rest and restore sense right now because they're in the middle of winter, which totally makes sense to me.
Yeah. And it takes it, like you said, it takes you out of your authentic self. It truly does. And the earth right now, our vibration, we are moving into authenticity. We're discovering our own authenticity. We're discovering how to be our true selves. And if
Mm-hmm.
we continue to bring in those words, bring in those, belief systems because we're doing it because everyone else believes in it, we're not being authentic. We are not being in the energy of alignment at all.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, I'll just do it because that's what everyone does. It's like, and I don't want to get into religion here. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, right? How much that has shifted in years, and all of the things. It's like we continue to play back into all of those things, but more so, it's taking out of who we truly are,
Mm-hmm.
and not being living in authenticity. Um, Nature is just nature. It is what it is. There's no pretending that there's no leaves on the tree when there's leaves on the tree. It is
Yeah.
what it is, right? So it is a piece of, and I truly feel that a lot of people are really going to be moving, and it's going to be only a few left over in a few years saying Happy New Year. I just feel that we are shifting that fast, and people are going to start realizing that, hey, wait a minute. This is just a piece of paper saying that I need to turn the calendar.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, at a deeper level, if we are just saying it and we're not believing it and we don't feel it and we're just saying it just to say it because everyone else is, then we are, again, just doing that good girl programming. That be a nice girl, be a good girl, go along with it, all of that. And that is so against that authenticity thing. And not that being authentic means that you have to be mean. And again, like I said, it's not that it's that you have to preach or you have to make someone else believe it, because that's ego too. But if you are not resonant with it, then don't say it. And that was kind of my lesson this year, because like I said, for the last couple, I haven't really felt it. And I didn't do New Year's resolutions and I didn't do all of that. But I said it. And now I found myself, like I said, I couldn't even say it, because the more I learn about our language and about words and how much power they have over us, we are casting spells every time we speak. And that is not a spell I want to cast. And that is not a program I want to keep playing of just go along with it just because. No, I am who I am, and I welcome anyone who, has a different opinion, and I accept anyone who has a different opinion, but that's not who I am and it doesn't resonate. And I'm not going to keep lying to myself just to be go along to get along kind of thing.
Yep. Yep. And I just feel like, the resolutions, I haven't done resolutions. Oh my God, it has not that has not resonated me for I don't even know how long it's been.
Yeah.
Years and years. Um and I just believe that if you're going to do something, why wait for a new year? Why wait for a calendar? Why wait? You know what I mean? It's like either start today or pick a day to start, not because someone says so, right? Um, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Any time of year for resolutions, right? It's uh being authentic with yourself, yourself, listening to your guidance when it's time to, you know, roll out something new in your business or whatever, right? Um, can you imagine if the whole world rolled out something new in their business on the first of the year
Mm.
and not done anything the rest of the year? Like that just is I don't know. Now I'm off
Well,
topic.
no, but I think that I get what you're saying because everything, every day is a brand new day, so it's a new whatever. But that's what I mean. Like you're talking about doing, or what I'm hearing is you talking about doing it like inspired action rather than doing it because even like even if you are setting the calendar of, oh well, this is the whatever season. I don't know astrology that well. But so, or this is Mercury retrograde, so I'm not going to do a new contract or whatever. If you are feeling it, then that is resonant for you. And that's what I think we need to get away from. And although I am saying coming back to nature, especially with the New Year thing, it also is about being in alignment with yourself. And I am feeling more, my body is feeling more in tune with nature. So that tends to be how I'm feeling things. Um, but if you do, like you said, in the Chinese New Year starts February 17th. And so if that feels resonant or, like if that's what's feeling more resonant with you, then that's fine. It's not saying, oh, well, you have to wait now till March 21st because that's the technical New Year. Because again, that's still following something else. I'm just pointing the fact out that for me, things feel very resonant with being natural
Yeah.
and following that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I agree. And, the planets, like you mentioned, astrology, they do matter, yes. But I think that, oh, I'm going to start on the full moon. I'm going to do a ceremony because it's on the full moon, or, oh, I can't do this because of retrograde, but it feels like it's right. So, but you are using something outside of yourself to say it's wrong or it's not the right time. Or, you know, there's a lot of people, I know a lot of people who won't book appointments during retrograde, and that's okay. That's just what resonates with them, and that's how they feel. And um, I don't know. It's a thing, but I just feel like if we are in resonance with what we're doing and in alignment, if you're guided, you're guided.
Well, what I just got too, which is very interesting, which just kind of came through with what you're saying, is like you said, you're still following someone else's dictate on what that should look like. And what came to me was like, we don't know the big picture as much as we try. So if our soul is feeling like really inspired to do something in retrograde or something in the middle of winter, and we want to start a new fitness program or something like that, let's say, because that's the basic one. Um, and we really feel called to do that, then do that. But I guess my suggestion or what I got was then your soul is calling to do it because maybe you are supposed to fail. Maybe you are supposed to for another reason. And so it's again being authentic, being aligned with your soul and what your soul wants to do rather than doing it because, oh no, I can't because of retrograde. Maybe you're supposed to have that appointment and you're supposed to completely fail at that, or that contract or something, because that is where your lesson is, that is where your growth is, that is where your expansion is. And so again, it's taking that higher perspective, is stepping away from doing it because someone says do it or don't do it, but doing what's aligned and letting go of what that's supposed to look like.
Yep.
Letting go of that attachment and expectation, because maybe you are supposed to fail. Maybe
Yep.
you are supposed to go through that.
Yep. Or we create that failure because, oh, well, I knew it was going to fail, or I can't do it because technology is going to not going to allow me because it's retrograde. Okay, well, you've just put those words out there. What are you manifesting, right? But yeah. But, and I do feel like a lot of resolutions, sorry, maybe it's resonations too, happen, um, fail because you are not, like you said, you need to learn something. It's a lifestyle change. It's not just get up and go. It's a lifestyle change. So are you failing because you're not sitting long enough to realize what you need to do to have that success, going to the gym? Because right now it is a time to really look deeper, right? It's winter. It's we're supposed to be slowing down. We're not supposed to be ramping it up, um, according to nature.
Well, and we're halfway through winter too. Like
Yeah.
that's, and so not only are we slowing down, like I think of, and I saw this and I was like, oh wow. But like trees, they're running low on sap right now. So they are completely in hibernation mode. They are not even, like, it is bare minimum of movement and stuff like that. So, as a natural being, or like I said, bears, like they're not, they are full on in deep rest right now. They are in full on hibernation. And that is where we're supposed to be. And I know we think, okay, yeah, that's the north. But like, even if you think of midsummer, that is not a time to be blooming either. That's a time where, the trees are fully in bloom, but they're not pushing anymore. They're more getting ready to lose their leaves. They're more like in that kind of stability kind of phase, or just like a rest kind of phase as well,
Yeah.
because it's hot in the summer. And so it's still, no matter where you are, it's that time of not pushing. You've already like sprung and you've grown, and now it's time to kind of stabilize and rest, and so it's the same energy, it's just different,
Yep.
looks different.
Yep. Yep. For sure.
As it
Yeah.
looks different outside too.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's time to float, right? It's like you flap, like think of a bird, right? What do? They flap their wings, they get into that the where the air is pushing them and they just glide, right?
Yeah.
Time to just glide at those in those aspects, especially summertime, right? And then you wait for things to, the fruition, all the fruit will grow, all of the things, right, on the trees. And you think of a garden, right? Um,
Hmm.
all you do is have to maintain. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to you work at it, not as much, right? You don't have to plant the seeds. You don't have to set your intentions. You don't, right? So there is something to nature, 100%.
Yeah.
And nature provides everything. And like you said, and I love that saying about what would a tree do, right? What would a tree do? Um,
Yeah.
the answers are there. And sometimes,
Absolutely.
and I find for me, yes, I'm a nature, like I am all about the nature. I'm all about the animals too, right? In nature.
Hmm.
Um, I will often, it'll be, I'll be going through a storm myself and I will go be in nature. And what happens? It could be raining and the birds are still chirping, right? I'm like, well, hey, if they can be happy, why can't I be happy through this storm? Right? They don't, they always survive it. right?
Yep.
Whether they bunker down or whether they collectively keep themselves warm or whatever, right? So we have to really ask ourselves, what is nature trying to guide us through, guide us to, guide us away from, all of the things. Um, because society has really painted a picture that we have to be a certain way.
Yep. And I think that is so um, beautiful what you said about, like the birds and the floating and flowing and that's what nature's all about is it flows. The tree doesn't go, "Oh my gosh, it needs to rain in the next couple days or I'm going to die," or that kind of thing. Or the bird's not like, "Well, what's going to happen a month from now if there's no bird seed?" or like that kind of thing. They just live and they just be. And that's about being in flow and being connected to um, our mother earth and to being connected to that cycles of that and within cycles are cycles. So I mean, especially for women, like you talk about like our menstruation cycle, being in flow with that and allowing us to be, because again, winter is very much our crone season or our menopause season. So we are supposed to be resting. We are supposed to be in a space of allowing, we're not supposed to be in a space of huge creativity. That comes in more of the maiden aspect of things when the creativity comes. And so even within our bodies, we need to be in flow. And just the more we can align with that, the more ease we have in our life. When we're trying to push something when we're not in that stage or we're not in flow with it, it makes it difficult. It makes it a struggle. And it is a lot of times, mostly from the unconscious, setting us up for sabotage.
Yeah. It just doesn't, it's not in alignment. It just doesn't work. It just is not how we need to flow. It just doesn't flow.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's
So,
like the river trying to, oh, well, it's January 1st, so now I have to start like this, pushing the salmon out or, go left or go right or whatever. It
but it's
doesn't
frozen.
work. Yeah, exactly. There we go. Exactly. Key point.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And there's nothing wrong if you do celebrate uh January 1st for your calendar year. Good for you and keep going. If it's working, keep, if it's in alignment, keep going. Um, but the more and more that we are in tune with Mother Earth, nature, what it provides, what it tells us, what it gives us, what it grounds us in, um, the more and more you are in alignment with what it's saying.
Hmm.
It's just, it brings us out of the other stuff. I'll just
Yeah.
call it the other stuff.
Yeah. Our programming.
Yeah, there you go.
um, yeah, and like I said, that's fine. And there's people in my life I tried to stay out of ego through most of it, but it's fine if that's where you feel you need to be. Because maybe, like I said, maybe from a soul perspective, maybe you are supposed to set that New Year's goal and
Yeah,
you're supposed to go through another shame guilt cycle because there's a lesson there. Um, or whatever. It's for your growth and expansion. So there's no judgment on wherever you are landing on that because you are exactly where you're meant to be at all times, period.
yeah,
And so if that's where you are, that's great. We're just putting that information out to plant seeds.
yeah,
So to give you that, oh, that makes sense. That resonates with me, or no, that doesn't. Okay, good.
yeah, yeah,
Whatever it works, however it shows up for you or doesn't show up for you.
yeah. And we're not, well, I'm only can speak for myself. I'm sure you feel this too. And we're not saying just because it's January 1st and you have a goal that it's not going to succeed, because that's not true. If it's in alignment and you're doing what you're guided to and doing the things, great, right? Then that means that's what you needed to have happen right now, right?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, yeah,
And like I said, there's cycles within cycles too. So maybe you're at a point in another cycle where that was the time too. And it's, again, it is all about being in alignment, like you said, being authentic, being in alignment, being true to who you are. And awareness is so the key part of that. So this is coming to you, or you're listening to this for an awareness piece to go, oh, that makes sense. This is why I'm not feeling it, or this is why I, despite all the best intentions, are not being able to find that energy, um, or whatever it may be. It's about, yeah, being in alignment and being aware of what's coming, and aware of, why, if this is resonating, then why are you feeling like, oh, I flipped the calendar page and now I have to be a new person? Okay, why? Where is that coming from? Who says I have to be a new person? And why do they get to say? Why is that anyone else's business? Why is it, all of those things? It's to give you that awareness piece to go dig deeper and go, well, that doesn't make sense to me. Why? Why am I? Or why? No wonder I'm feeling, or why am I feeling this way or that way or whatever? And that's how you get to be authentic
yeah,
and aligned.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny because like I went away for New Year's to visit family, and everyone went out and celebrated, and I stayed home. I didn't need that, right? I did stay up um because I was doing something with my husband. We were, doing some things, and it was like awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't because, I did not need to go celebrate. It was just not what I needed. So,
Hmm.
and my husband supports me in that. So it was like, okay, I'll stay home with you and we'll, you know, watch a TV show, watch a movie, whatever we did. We watched TV actually. So it was like, whatever. But
Yeah.
I didn't go watch the clock either, though. So it was kind of cool.
It is. And like I said, and a lot of people, I heard other people who were saying, that they resonated more with it not being the new year, but also collectively that you feel that, especially as an empath, you feel that excitement and everything, and there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah.
And like I said, for me, how I found that worked is I still I said like happy January 1st to all the people who were rah rah new year. It wasn't my goal, or it wasn't my mission to educate them or shame them or anything. I was like, okay, that's where you are. Happy January 1st. I just couldn't say it because
Yep.
like I said, I didn't want to cast that spell. But, and that's fine. Um, like we've said all along, be where you are and do what feels right to you. And if it feels right to be out celebrating on New Year's, great,
Yep.
do it.
For sure.
If it feels not good and it feels like you should be at home resting, great, do it.
Yep.
If it's something in between, fine, great, do it.
Yep. Or
It's
or you
just,
do it for other people too. If that's what, it's in guidance for you, then that's absolutely fine. As long as you know in your heart what you know.
and again, I come back to awareness.
Yep.
Just, it gives you the awareness to go, oh, am I doing this because I want to, or because it's expected of me, or because someone else wants me to, or because I'm conditioned to be a good girl, a nice girl, a get along girl, or boy? It's just easier to say girl.
Yep.
Then
Yep.
that's your awareness piece. And that's where, yeah, and only you know the answer to that.
Yep, for sure. Awesome. I think that's good for today.
It was a good one.
It was. It was. I'd love to hear. We would love to hear the comments in the comments what you celebrate. No right or wrong. What you feel. That would be awesome. Also, Tara and I have a special on for our Soul Essence Revival. Go ahead.
Okay, so as much as we're saying January 1st is not, we also recognize that that is a collective time. And it also, because I really thought about this before we put it out too, is this is a time where you can, as you're turning inward and as you're resting, it's a time where you can start planning what you're going to plant in the spring. And so, or releasing what you like are not going to. And so that's why I feel aligned with doing this offer of 20% off, because this is when you can start putting those things in motion or having those awarenesses. Um, and like I said, collectively, it feels a lot of people feel that. And so we wanted to be there to support people who are on that feeling or who are wanting to get things started before they're ready to plant in
Yeah.
March, like
Dig
cleaning the
deeper.
garden out.
Yeah, dig deeper, no pun intended.
Yeah, exactly. And it's those, like you said, the frozen water on top in the lake. Maybe it's time to go into those depths
Yep.
underneath.
Yeah. And it is a really good time. We have had a lot of success with our Soul Essence Revival. I have had someone actually that we did one for, and she still has the recording and she listens to it whenever she feels that she needs to bring some stuff back because we don't heal on a drop of a hat. We have to sometimes keep revisiting things that we need to really bring ourselves out of and become, I guess I'll say it that way. So yeah, we've had couples, we've had a lot of people that have um, had profound healing. Um, yeah, I'll just leave that there at that one. Um, yeah, so if you are interested, get a hold of either one of us. It's on our socials. It's on it's in my newsletter. It is all over Tara's stuff too. Tara sends out a weekly uh message on her newsletter. So there's always ways to contact us if you are wanting this 20% off. It is a really good savings. So if you are interested, get a hold of one of us. And
Absolutely.
I could probably put the link in the description as well. But yeah,
Awesome.
awesome. I thank everyone for being here again. We will see you in 2 weeks. Um, and we'll see what we talk about. If there's something you would like to know, talk about, let us know. Maybe we can have a guest speaker again. That would be fun. We had a
Hmm.
while ago. Maybe it's time to do that again. We'll see.
Absolutely. We're going
Oh,
with the flow.
you bet. Thank you very much. Have a magical day. Much love.
You too. Bye bye.